Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mappa Forward, friends. Happy International Coffee Day. Today, October the 1st, is International Coffee Day, and I wanted to mark the occasion by, first of all, thanking you. Thanking you for the way that you show up for our industry and for the value chain. More than anything, though, I want to thank you for the way that you are showing up for yourself in this industry and continuing as, obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you're one of the people who wants to continually elevate and move forward in the way that you represent yourself and this amazing product that we represent throughout your career, whether that be as a professional or a business owner. And so today we celebrate you. Today we celebrate the value chain. Today we celebrate our customers. And we're going to have a bit of a chat very quickly in today's episode about what that means, given the way that we have been scrambled as a result of 2020. And now let's start by saying that the way that the coffee industry used to operate was quite the reaction to the way that consumers engaged with coffee. So going back a few decades, the way that business was done in coffee is really different to the way that it's done now. Attention to the value chain wasn't even close, or not just the coffee value chain, many commodity products that people consume. The attention and focus on the amount that consumers care about where their product comes from really has shifted. Whereas going back a couple of decades, people didn't really care. Business owners opened coffee shops because there was a huge demand for it and things were booming. And so that meant that the way that people practiced owning businesses was very different to the way that people react today. Now, even going from 2019 to 2020, that has changed, and it will continue to evolve very rapidly as we move forward, thanks to the pandemic, thanks to what is a global economic collapse that is imminent, as well as climate change, which is something that we don't talk enough about on this podcast, and I am going to be focusing quite severely on that next year. So in where we are now, and the reason I wanted to talk about this on International Coffee Day is we have made some great strides as an industry and as professionals to right a lot of the, I'm not going to say wrongs, but the missteps that we had in the past. We are starting as an industry to do better to the supply chain. We are as an industry becoming more conscious of the way that we engage in trade practices and the way that we show up for our employees. We could do better. We can do better, and we should do better. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is we are in a moment of opportunity in the way that we bring our customers on board in this journey that is evolving. What I mean by that is that the landscape is changing of how consumers engage in the way that they purchase coffee as a result of the pandemic. And this is a really important time as we as an industry continue to say that we want customers to care more about producers. As we move to a model where more consumers are brewing at home and we're selling more roasted coffee to consumers and more brewing equipment to consumers, we have an opportunity where they are going to inherently develop a closer relationship with the coffee that they're purchasing. I today, more than anything, want to invite you to cultivate the relationship that you have with them and use that relationship to communicate more about the producer. Taking this opportunity to do this is important because while they are brewing coffee and they are tasting coffee and they are seeing, now that they're the barista for themselves, now that they're seeing how slight little differences, the age of the coffee, the quality of the roast, the water that they're using, all of these different things, they're becoming the chef of their own culinary experience. They're open to exploring different things and different variables that can continue to improve their cup quality. And obviously, the number one thing that improves that is the quality of the coffee that they're using. So use this moment as an opportunity to cultivate and educate the relationship that your customer has with coffee itself, and help them understand that not all coffee is the same, not all origins are the same. They all have brilliant, different things to offer. So helping people understand what that really means, because as I've said many, many times on this podcast, we have a branding problem with coffee. We call instant coffee coffee. We call drip coffee, we call espresso coffee, we call elixir coffee, we call roasted coffee, all of these things that fall under the umbrella of coffee. This, more than any other time on International Coffee Day in 2020, let us mark this as a time where we become conscious of the way that we are using this moment that's a shift in consumer spending and consumer habits as the moment that we monopolize on the opportunity to educate our customers and make them more aware of what they mean when they use the word coffee. Before I go, thank you again for representing the value chain the way that you do, whether it be on the producer end or whether it be on the consumer end. Thank you for showing up with integrity and continuing to cultivate curiosity so that you can become a better coffee professional and a better coffee small business or large business or medium business owner. Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day.